Well, hi everybody. This is just stay-at-home grandma, and I'm coming on just a little bit early before everybody else comes on, just to say hello and how are you and all that kind of other kind of stuff. I am exhausted. Okay, I went to my usual doctor's appointments and things like that. I have another one Friday because that they're going to have to do day surgery on my arm, but I'm gonna be all right. So not to worry about me, stuff like that. So I am ready for bed already, but I had to come on because Hannah's coming on in a few. So I just wanted everybody to, you know, to be here and to greet Hannah and all that. Um, just a few announcements before Hannah comes on too. Number one, I'm going to change Christmas for August and July. Instead of Friday night, I'm going to do Monday night. Um, I'm going to do my cooking on Sunday. I was going to try to do it on Saturday, cooking on Saturday for Sunday, but right now, I have my grandchildren here on the weekend with their mom and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard. So, you know what I mean? And besides which, they want to kind of be in the cooking arena too. So I'll let them go ahead and do it as well. Um, so I'll put everything up, and I think I'll do this Friday and then start. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. I don't know, or maybe I'll do double Monday. I don't know yet, but I will. Come on and let you know. The other thing is, if anybody, I'm trying to find another genre of making movies because the one that I have, the movie maker in and of itself, it's a good one, but it's old and I can't connect it with the new computer. And by the way, I'm upstairs, so I'm on the new computer. So I'm trying to get comfortable here. Hey Tiffany Echo, how you doing? What's up? Um, the coupons that I sent you. If you write to the company, they will actually send you some. If you want to, they will actually send you some samples of those things as well. I figured you would be at work. How's my friend doing? Well, your friend, but he's my friend too. But you know how that goes. And Hannah is on.
Good evening.
Well, hi. How are you?
I am well, and you?
I am always well. I'm in the bed, however, because it's been an exhausting day.
Oh, trust me, I understand. I just completed, a full day's work and had to get dinner and all of that. So
Yeah,
I truly understand.
yeah.
Ready to sit back and relax and, enjoy the little few hours I have before it's time to turn in.
Okay, so everybody that's on and everybody that's coming on, this is Hannah. And I'm gonna let her tell you all about her botanics and everything like that. Your site is amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, I went through it and I'm going to go through some more things. But I thought, well, wow, it is really good. She has all kinds of things in there. And I put the site up and I will put the site up again, when I close down and everything like that.
Okay. I really appreciate you having me on and showcasing, like my products and the code for them to get the discounts. As you stated, and I do want to make a clarification. Hannah is actually my grandmother's name, and I kind of adopted it as a pseudonym because of how we were raised. She
Mm-hmm.
had her garden, she had her things and herbs and oils that she used on us children as we were growing up. And a lot of that knowledge was lost when she passed away. So basically, what ended up happening is my husband and I had a conversation, and we decided that this would be something that is needed for individuals that want natural things to make them feel good, to be, a positive reinforcement and bring back some of that information that we lost, a few generations ago. So basically, just going back through the family tree, talking to some of the others, and tracing what we remember. That's how we came up with Hannah's Botanical Garden. And it's perfectly fine. You can call me, Hannah. I'm fine with that. Like I said, I did adopt it as a pseudonym. So like you mentioned, we do have essential oils. Um, we use them. I primarily use them for things such as allergies and, just diffusing the air, especially when you have nasal congestion, like the eucalyptus and things like that. It helps open you up. Similarly to the Vic Sab that has camphor in it. So for eucalyptus and lemongrass, they have different natural oils in them, not man-made type things. And
Give me 1 second. Hi, Sherry. How are you?
hi.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so along with the oils, we have different ways for you to actually use them. We have the diffusers, the accessories to go with them. We have inspirational t-shirts, just for different occasions to remind yourself that, hey, there are some positive things in life. We just have to look for those things and just not focus on the negative all the time. So we go from the t-shirts, the oils, and then we have like some wall decor, little signs and plaques and just whatnots you can actually place throughout the house. A few scripture type things. Again, just reinforcing that positivity because we're faced with so much in our lives. And we
Mm.
just wanted to circle back around and be like, hey, even though this is going on, remember that someone cares for you. You have family. You have a lot to live for. You are worthy. And with embedded into the site, even though we have all these different natural products, there are what we call Hannah's Botanical Closet or Hannah's Closet,
Mhm.
and there are various loungewear outfits, jumpsuits, dresses, just things for right now. We only have women's clothing. But hopefully in the future at some point we may be able to introduce men's clothing. But right now we just focus on the women's clothing, and again it's just something nice, simple that you can, okay, I need to step out, and go to this function or to, my friend's endeavor or whatnot. And the one piece jumpsuits, and I must say, I've gotten several, and I like them because I don't have to worry about the tops, the bottom. They fit true to form. Um, Now, my only situation is I am a bit short, so I do have to get, my pants hemmed a lot. But for everything else, they fit true to form, just like the sizes say. Um, and like I said, we do have discounts for individuals who sign up on the site. You can sign up for our rewards program where after you spend so much, you can cash it in just like with other sites and use it as a discount code for 5, 10, $15 off, depending on how much, you spend over time. You can accumulate those points and put it towards your next purchase. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, I do have something that was kind of remarkable because when you were sending me some things, you sent me a shirt, and it was real funny because we have a grief group that meets every other Wednesday on Streamyard, and
Okay.
I just lost my son a few months ago, and a few of my other people that have been on here, they've lost people as well, and I was trying to find a prayer that spoke to everybody. And it's funny because I worked as a therapist for years in a rehab, and I never even thought about it till you sent it, and I'm saying that's the prayer that I've been looking for.
Well,
Was the and
I'm glad that you were able to use it and
I will have it on
it
tomorrow
has
night.
meaning. I
Yeah, I'll have it
appreciate
on
it.
tomorrow night, and every Wednesday when we meet, I will have it on. But I'm also going to put it up because I couldn't even remember all of it. You know what I mean? Because it's been so
Hmm.
long since I've used that particular prayer. And I said, you know what? See how God works. That it just, it just
He
amazed me. And I had
does.
to say that
He
to you
does.
because, it's just like you were reading my mind. Because I could only remember like the first three lines of it. And then I'm like,
Mhm.
I got to look it up and, you get busy and stuff like that. But you worked it out.
I appreciate it. We really tried, okay? I know it took a while for the products to come in. We did have a few hiccups with, of course, logistics, transport, but that's across the nation. Some things come in a little sooner than others.
Hmm.
I do want patrons to know if for some reason that it's an unexpected delay, like it's longer than usual or what's posted, just go ahead and send us a message and we'll get back to you and give you an update. But even when you order, you should be supplied with that tracking number, and we can actually look up and see exactly where it is in transit, and so that you won't have to worry or feel like my product is lost or whatnot. So we
Yeah.
do a lot of hands-on things like that, and we try to make. Right now we're small, but we try to make each person just feel welcome, part of the family. You are a part of what we're trying to build, and we do want you to know that we're there for you and we care about you.
Yeah, that's really good. We are doing Christmas in August, July and August. Usually people just do it in July, but I'm doing it July and August. Then
Okay.
I'm going to do September because I do DIYs as well. So what we did Friday night um, was shower steamers,
Uh-huh.
and I kind of I did it. They were all right. They smelled good and everything like that, but they fell apart. So I have to do them again. I have my pluses and my minuses like everybody else, but we did them, so they know how they're made. It's just going to have to. I'm going to do it again and stuff.
Okay.
But it was. I mean, you could still use them. They still steamed and they smelled good, but they were just. You just have those pluses and minuses. But I was like, I'm really really happy because I'm trying to, and it's funny. This is the funny thing too.
Mhm.
You and the Sophie's Coffee I had on last week,
Yes.
both of the businesses are named after their grandmothers. Now, I'm a grandmother of an adult child. She's 32 years old. Okay. So,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? So that makes me feel good because I've been an herbalist almost since birth. My mother and my
Mhm.
father's mother and they're from different parts of the country, by the
But
way.
they
But
still
they were
practice some of the same
And so
thing.
my mother was a nurse. My grandmother, she just grew her herbs and everything like that and practiced some of the same things. So when I
Mhm.
would go down south to stay with her, when the other kids were playing, I was in the yard. Like, Grandma,
Yeah.
what you do with this? And Grandma, what you do with that? And then, of course, we lived in the city of Boston, my mother, and because my father passed when I was like 8. And she would teach me how to do herbs and stuff like that. So I make some things and stuff like that, but I've never really. I'm an herbalist, and I will, say, okay, we'll try this and try that to people. But my thing was mostly counseling and teaching. But the thing I was trying to say is that I really did not want to get into the business end of it. For me, that was, and a lot of my friends get very angry at me because they say, I don't know why you didn't bottle. I'm not bottling and selling that stuff. You know what I mean?
That's kind of what happened with me because I would get phone calls. Well, what can I take naturally for this? So what can I do for this? And what can I do for that? And like I said, it was just one of those things that kind of came together. Now, my site, I didn't just want it to sell products to people, but to also help educate about what the
Mhm.
different herbs do, how the different oils can be used. Um, just overall, like I said, to make you feel good, to bring about our awareness that even though we live in the West, we don't necessarily have to pop a pill for everything. There
Mm.
are some natural ways you can go about it. Um, and you may even be able to use some of these things in conjunction with your medication to, decrease the dosage or whatnot.
Yep.
But it's something it's a issue that you would have to actually discuss with your physician because you still have to look at the interactions and things of that nature. Um, so by trade, I am, a registered nurse, but I still tell everybody that the medication we take came from somewhere, whether it was a plant or an animal, meaning that it is already introduced into the world. We just have to remember and learn where it came from. And if we could do these type things and get back to nature, we could start building a better, homeostasis type situation with our minds, our bodies, and the earth, and it will be bring about more positive outcomes. And we have to advocate for ourselves as well, whether or not we want to do natural type things. And I think that with the changes, science is wonderful, don't get me wrong, love science, but the further we can get away from chemical type substances,
Right.
the better we will be overall as humans. That's my take on it. Because there's so many things that we're introducing into our bodies, not knowing what the outcome is going to be
Yeah.
over the long term. And some of the things we see now, we didn't see 10, 15, 20 years ago. So why is that? What has changed?
Well, I
So
think I think that a lot of people want the pill because, it's a leave. Let's use a leave, and don't think for a moment that I don't use a leave when I really
oh
need to.
yeah, I mean, if you need it, yeah, just
Yeah, but let's use a leave for a minute. Completely wipes out whatever pain you're in. Okay, in like 2 or 3
convenient.
minutes.
That's,
Okay,
yes.
take two of them and you feel like you're on a cloud. However, well, let me backtrack to me for just a little bit. I had a stroke a couple few
Mhm.
years ago, so that had made me kind of lame and stuff like that. And then, of course, I have carpal tunnel because I'm always working and always on the
Yeah.
computer and stuff. So I just made it up in my mind. I'm 74 years old. And for the rest of my life, whatever time that God gives me, I'm going to try to improve. I'm going to try to exercise
Mhm.
better. I'm going to try to drink more water. I'm trying to take vitamins and things that speak to my bone health and stuff like that. Now, I know these things, but just because you know these things, that don't mean you always do all of them. You know what I mean?
That is true.
But I had
That
to
is
make
true.
a commitment to myself. I want to be able to. I'm not going to run. I wouldn't run from somebody if they were chasing me. I really wouldn't. I've never been one of them people. I'm going to stand there and see what they want. But I'm going to play with my grandkids. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm
Mhm.
going to enjoy my life. And the best way for me to do that is to be more positive and more healthy. So how
Yes.
do I do that? I take so many herbs and stuff like that that it's pitiful. And when I had the stroke, the doctor said to my husband, well, she might not be able to walk again and she might not be able to talk again and all that kind of stuff. And he said, you don't know my wife.
Exactly.
You don't know my wife. And the doctor just looked at him. I went in that hospital on Friday.
Mhm.
I came home on Monday.
Wow.
Okay. And
Wonderful.
you know what I'm saying? Because I was determined. I'm not going to sit here and be the victim. Not going to be victim in this and everything like that. I probably did it to myself because I work like crazy, and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And so I'm going to have to pay the consequences and everything like that and do what I have to do. So fast forwarding to now, I noticed that, I was getting a little bit slumpy and a little bit tired. Well, today, like I said, was a big day, but, and things like that. And of course, when you're 74 years old, it's not the same as when you were 16, no matter how you
Oh,
want to slice
look,
it.
those milestones. Okay, so yeah, I had that conversation with my mother, and years ago, even before I had the kids or whatnot, she said, "Oh, well, you think you fine now, but you wait till you get in your 30s, and you're gonna
Hmm.
notice some changes." And she literally broke down decade by decade what I could expect, and I was like, "Well, Mom, you said 40s was gonna bring this, and the late 40s was gonna bring that, and I'll be doggone. You knew exactly what you was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, my
So you
mother's
have
no
to
longer
take
here, but she
advantage of
told
things,
me.
be active, but they come. some things just come with age.
You know, I mean, my mother is no longer here, but that's what she said to me. You really are going to feel certain things at 30, at 40, at 50. She
Yes,
said your
yep.
body breaks down and you got to keep up with your vitamins. You got to keep up with your herbs, and you also have to keep up with exercise.
Mm-hmm.
See, I used to be a dancer, so I took dancing, when I was young and stuff like that. So I liked to dance and stuff like that. Then, like I said, as I began to work and stuff like that, and then, in the church and things like that, I was, dedicated to my work.
Mm-hmm.
So I took my vitamins and stuff like that, but I didn't take care of myself the way I should have. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So now that I know better, okay, I see 90 years. I think the man around, he's got to be 95 years old. He was old when I moved here 35 years ago. Okay, and he walks every day.
Oh, that was a few years ago. The eldest, well, we call her the matriarch of the family on my mother's side, she passed away. She was 96, and she lived down in Florida by herself. She would wake up every morning, and they had, like, the Curves exercise studio or whatnot, the
Mhm.
fitness studio. She would go there, do her exercises, get her little grocery bag, go to the store, and go back. That was like her morning routine.
Mhm.
And she did it every morning. And we were like, why don't you just buy all your groceries? And when she said no, because then I wouldn't have a reason to get out of the house.
Yeah,
So I need to keep moving. I need to stay active. And she was very active and had all of her wits about her up until the day she actually passed.
right. Hey, Ray, Sunshine, how you doing? Somehow they went off.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Let's see.
It's not connected somehow. Well, while she's trying to get reconnected again, I'll talk. I don't know what happened to her, so I suppose I should. She'll come back, I'm sure. No, she went off completely, so I hope she comes back. Anyway, um, hey Treasure, how you doing? Sherry, how you doing too? I had asked about that. So while I'm here, I'm going to switch. She's back on.
Back on, but for some reason my camera just stopped working.
It's been raining and stuff here, and lightning and thundering. I don't know how far you are, but I
Oh
don't.
no, we're actually in the Gulf Coast, Southwest Georgia, and we've had a lot of lightning storms and thunderstorms today,
Yeah,
and we're actually in the middle of another, I guess you would call it pass. You know how they come and you will have a little
yeah,
break and then another wave will come.
yep.
So
That's
we
what we're looking
actually
at.
have one that's coming through right now.
So that's what's happening, and I think between even though I'm in Delaware actually, so that it's going all down the
The
coast.
coast,
So,
yes,
and I'm
yes.
right on the water, so hey,
And you know how it happens down here around, Florida, Georgia, Alabama. We get like a lot of wind, tornadoes, lightning
yeah, I know
storms.
that. I
Yeah,
know that. My
so
grandmother came from Mississippi. And she lived in bio country, and it's really funny because I have two completely different parents. My mother is Portuguese. She was born in Port. I think she was. I still don't know where my mother was born at,
oh,
but I know that my grandfather came here and he bought land here and stuff like that. So I don't know, but anyway, when we were down south and stuff like that, we used to have this really like weather conditions that were unheard of. You see trees going down the street, you'd be like, "What?" Because
well,
I was
it's
born
it's
in
it's
Boston.
it's not that bad today. We don't see they're leaning a little bit, but they're not, to the point that they're gonna snap.
No,
At
I've
least
been
I don't think.
I was down my grandmother's one time and they had some kind of tornado, and I swear to you, I saw a person in that wind tunnel.
You very well could have,
You
because
know what
I
I mean? But
know
I was little and I told my grandmother that, and she's like, I don't think so. She said, but it can happen. She said, but I just don't think so. And I think she
it
just
can
didn't want me to
definitely
entertain
happen.
that. I just don't think she wanted me to entertain that at all in my head. You know, I was a little kid.
Oh yeah, yeah, I understand, because we don't like for hours to you try to shield them from traumatic things like that.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw a person blowing in the wind or in the middle of the tornado. It was no, no, you didn't. You just
Yeah,
tell me something else.
I really, and I never really got the chance to ask her when I became an adult. You know, were you like covering for me or something like that? But I'm still, because we're right around the water and stuff like that. I'm waiting to see a cow go by one day.
Now we did it. I didn't have a cow to go by, but back in 2017, we did have, the trailers, like the food trucks.
Hmm.
We did have one of those go by.
Oh Lord, my YouTube friend, she had she they completely in Tennessee, I think it was, with they just had a tornado earlier this year.
Mm-hmm. It was
Okay,
a lot. Yeah, we
yeah,
had
when she was
several.
in that town with the candle factory,
Oh, okay.
yeah, her house got lowered.
Oh,
It
wow.
lowered all the houses, all then they were trailers, and they were, and it was really funny. Not funny, but you know, haha, but funny because she said it just like went through like boom, and then it was gone.
Yep. They speed by. They can come at any second, and then they'll lift right back off the ground.
I know, and you look around like, well, where did it go? You know what I
Yep,
mean?
it gets sucked right back up in the sky.
But it weather is really, really, really frightening sometimes. But now what I want to do, okay, and you may want to think about this with us, is I want to bring some of the teaching in. I have like stuff that I taught even at the college when I was teaching at the college and stuff like
Okay.
that, you know, on herbs and things like that, just basic things, because a lot of young people and a lot of old people really don't know that echinacea, for instance, okay, whenever I have a sore throat, I don't take aspirin or anything like that. Okay, I take a couple echinacea and I'm fine the next day.
Yes.
You know, so I really want to kind of, and I really am looking to try to find a day when we can dedicate, even if we do it like once every 2 weeks, like we do the you know, the grief group and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, so where people, you know, can feel good and they can feel good about themselves. I am not going to, I used to sell Nature's Sunshine a long time ago, but I'm not going to reinvent the wheel on that one. I think Nature's Sunshine is really, really good, but they have gotten very expensive.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I have a couple of other people that I'm going to put on here that they can go to, and you know, they can buy things from, because I don't want to deal with that. I deal with some other things, and too many things just make you crazy.
That is so true. That is so true. And right now I have finally reached that point in life where I understand, the work life balance, that you do not have to have so much on your plate.
Nope.
And I'm trying to basically, de-stress, debulk, and get to that area where we're comfortable, we can spend time together, and that's it. I don't want work taking up all of my life. I don't want just outside interference and unnecessary type things that really are insignificant. It's like it takes from the wholeness and the connections that you can actually make with people, all the distractions. And when I mean, like I said, work, for instance, we wake up and we go to work for anywhere from between 20 to 30 years of our life.
Hmm.
And it's a cycle. So, not saying that we don't have to work. Yes, we do, in order to survive, and the way the world is set up. But we also need to be able to have a balance where our work is not consuming every aspect of our life.
Right, exactly. And I think that that's some of the mistakes that my mother was also a nurse. That was not in my genre of things to do. Okay, well, you know what? I mean, she really did not push me into that direction, but
She
what
suggested.
she suggested was, see, what cured me was because she was a midwife. Okay,
Okay.
I was about 12 or 13, and I said, "Mom, please take me, and I can help you and stuff like that because I used to help her set up her things and stuff like that." Okay, so we go. When this woman started screaming, I started screaming. So I said, "Honey, just go out the room and stuff like that." This
It's
woman screamed, and you could hear her all through the house and stuff like that. And I'm like, never, never, Okay, so my mother said, nursing is not for you. Or maybe that particular nursing is not for you.
yeah,
But
and
I
that's
want
what I tell them. There's so many different aspects of nursing, and especially now,
oh,
you
yeah.
can literally choose how you want to perform in a profession. And we do have kids, and I did ask the girls if they were interested in nursing, and one by far she went, it's like she did an about face and was nope, don't ask me, don't want to have nothing to do with it. And similar to you, she heard some episodes because me and my sister, my oldest sister, she's also a nurse, and we would have conversations, and I don't know if those conversations just turned her off, but she left science altogether and went to art, and she's a wonderful artist. So I let her, spread her wings, go to her dreams. And because what I found also is that, because I also, taught and teach, when students or individuals are forced into the nursing profession because of my mom said, my aunt said, my grandma
Mhm.
said that I need to be a nurse because I always have a job. 95% of those students that say that end up changing their major
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's not what they truly wanted to do.
Well, see, that's just the opposite of me. I went into school to be an artist and ended up taking psychology because we have to take psychology courses, of course,
Yeah.
different courses. And I like psychology so much. I said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a counselor. And that's what I did. And my mother was one of those people that never said, okay, you don't do this, you don't do that, you can't do this. And it was never about money. It was about do what you like. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just do something. But I do want to say, Ray of Sunshine, you're going to get there. Okay. Your family is important to you. Okay. And the thing about it that I can share with everybody is they go by the family in it of itself. One day my kids were little. I went around to put something in the oven and they're grown.
Oh God.
You
You're
know,
so right. I feel the same way.
I mean, it was just a second. I put something in the oven and now they're grown. You know what I mean? And then I have grandchildren. And what's even worse is the first grandchild, who is the oldest grandchild, who's 32 years old, she now has children. Okay. And they're growing.
Oh yeah. Well, we have our first grand on the way.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So that is exciting.
Oh, yes, it is. It is because you know what's really fun? You can spoil the child and then send it home.
That's what my mother said.
Well, take a chapter from your mother because that's what I do.
Look,
Okay,
I will definitely do that and take it into consideration.
take it
It's
into the
like, okay.
consideration because that's exactly what I do. Okay, Christmas time, their birthdays, it don't have to be their birthday. I,
You just
I
do
just
it
do.
because you want to.
Mhm. And then now my daughter, okay, she said my middle daughter said to me because she has two children. My oldest daughter doesn't have any children. She said that wasn't in her genre. She just said she'd help raise her nieces and nephews. But
Oh God, she sounds like my oldest daughter.
mm,
That's
then
what
she,
she said. She
and my,
says the
my
same
oldest daughter
thing.
is 56 years old, and she said, "Not me, no." Okay, but my daughter, she lives around the corner from me. My two granddaughters are here, by the way. One is 19 and one is 16 now.
Okay.
Okay, but I still do things and give them things and stuff like that. And she'll say, "What did your grandmother give you that for?" She said, "Because she wanted to." You know what I mean? I love for it spoiling them because, see, the thing about it is, okay, with her and her brother and everything were alive, and they used to fight and stuff like that. So when the little kids start fighting and stuff like that, I just laugh when she said, like, "You really do think that's funny, huh?" And I say, "Yep."
Because that's what we used to do.
Mhm, mhm. Sure do. I love being a grandmother.
But I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy it as well. Um, everybody's doing well. They're on their journeys.
Hmm.
So we're just, being supportive. Like, we're here if you need us.
So now, how can as everybody is, I guess what I want to say, what do I want to say? How do I want to say that? Okay, so I put your stuff up on the screen. Okay.
Okay.
Now you have we have a discount code for 15% for the products.
Yes.
So you have the code. I'll also put it, it's also in my YouTube channel on my YouTube page.
Okay.
And I'll also later on, probably either tonight or tomorrow, put it on um my page, my Facebook. Talk much, Dee Dee. My Facebook page as well, so that everybody can use it and things and whatever. We are going to, like I said, get ready for Christmas in July and August. So we are going to be doing like soaps and things like that. And I have another company that sells the soap and stuff like that because I'm not even going to bother with trying to teach anybody how to make soap. You know what I mean? It's
That
just,
is actually I did. I remember doing that. We did that, look, younger years.
yeah.
Was taught how to do that and how to make candles. That's not, yeah, I'm similar to you with that. I leave that for someone else.
Well, I'll show them how to make the candles, but I get the pre soap, the soap that's already made, and it's just
Yes.
basic soaps, and then I show them how to do that because a lot of people don't have time to sit
To
there
do
and
the whole
stir that
process.
stuff.
Yeah.
There's a whole it's a job, and you know that, especially if your grandmother taught you how to do it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It took a while, and I was like, I think that's definitely why I was like, okay, yeah, I'll just go buy my soap. It's convenient. But then I started finding natural soaps because of, like I said, allergies.
Right.
Different fragrances and scents cause irritation. So,
And I have.
um,
Mhm.
yeah, I just kind of went back to the natural soaps. And those have worked pretty good, especially the ones that I order and have on my website.
Mhm.
Those
Saw that.
are in the company is called Free Rain Farm. They
Mhm.
have a lot of natural soaps and things, and I gotta actually get some more because the inventory is low. They have like lavender, just different soaps made with lanolin, gentle things that won't harm you or break you out or cause that irritation that some of the others will.
Hey, Jonah side. Yep. So just tell us, okay, what's on your page for the future? What do we hope to see?
Okay, for the future, right now, I am going back and as we normally do with seasons, we look at inventory, see what's new from our distributors and our warehouses, um, and we hand pick different items. They have to be within our overall mission of being positive, purposeful. Our oils, like we order our oils from small companies, um small businesses, so that are from based in the United States. We look to try to expand, as I said, to the male demographic as well, but sometimes it takes the female in the home or the girlfriend to kind of get the males on board. So that market is a little harder to tap into versus than with the women. And we also would like to expand, offer some different type clothing, things more loungewear, comfortable that you can wear around the house and not necessarily be in your, pajamas, but it's just something that is nice. You can I'm not You're up north, but especially down here in the south, it's hot, it's humid. We like light, arid thing type fabrics. So we're introducing more of those shorts, just different things for females and products you can use in the home. So we're not going to expand to like a major department store, but we're going to keep within the same categories that we have now, as far as the essential oils, the wall art, the clothing, the t-shirts with the sayings. We do switch those out from time to time because we will come across something new or something updated, and we would do that. And one of the things we were also looking at was partnering with, I mentioned that my daughter was an artist. She has a few pieces that we may actually put on the website if individuals like those, like the canvas art, because we also do those as well, but that's like on a, you would have to actually request those type services. Like I said, we're very hands on, and we're mindful. If you ask for certain type things, we actually try to go out and find them and procure them for you. If you have an idea and you give us the contact information, you can send us a text and we'll get back to you. So just all encompassing. That's pretty much what we're going to stay in that niche, but try to offer a variety.
Okay. Well, I mean that just shows tenacity, and I mean that's how you keep your business going and flowing. All right. So before we're gonna try to bring this to a close in a little bit, but before we do that, is there anything that you might want to add to this or say?
Well, okay, first I do want to go ahead and because I told you, yes, I do use my grandmother's name as a pseudonym, and that's only because my family say I reminds them so much of them, much of her. They like, you look just like grandma, all of my cousins or whatnot, but my true name is Danielle Childs. I am the owner and one of the individuals that work and assist. I do have family members that assist me, in the store and the online market, especially with the inventory and the videos that you will see on, Facebook and whatnot, the
Mhm.
posts. So they help with that. So and I already mentioned that I was a nurse, and I want to try to make sure that people are aware, like I said, are there. We do have options, and we have to stay mindful and positive if we want to actually live that fulfilling life that
Yeah,
many of us dream about. And just because you may have a hard knock today or be down today, it doesn't mean you're going to stay down or you have to stay down.
you're telling the truth. Now, does anybody have any questions out there for her before we get ready to wrap up? Ray, Jonas, Treasure, any of you? Got to wait a few minutes because they have to write it in.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was really just completely taken with your whole site and everything like that. I went through it and things like that. Clothes, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, the clothes came kind of like at the end. Um, it wasn't the main focus.
They're
So
beautiful though.
that's why it's like in its own little snippet, because if you look at the actual homepage, we wanted to focus more on, like I said, the oils, the soaps, the lotions, things like that that individuals could use, the air diffusers. Um, but the like I said, the clothing was just another. I get. what you would call it, avenue or
Mhm.
stream
Oh, they're
for
beautiful
someone that
clothes.
was looking at that or was looking for something like that.
With their beautiful clothes. But what I have done is I have completely cleaned out my closet. Okay. I am down to, I think, oh, maybe 10 pair of regular pants. Then I have pants for when I'm doing my art and stuff like that. So there,
Okay.
and then I have like about maybe 6 skirts and about 4 dresses because I don't go anywhere except to church and shopping. And actually, to be perfectly honest with you, I've been doing church online because that's what she does. Because, and this all happened before the pandemic, so it had nothing to do with that. Okay. I spent so much time out of the house when I was working. You know what I mean? And I spent so much time reading and studying and staying out of the house that I made myself a promise when I retired, which was 2 years prior, before I had the stroke. I was supposed to be retiring those 2 years, but I had the stroke before, so I retired early. I made myself a promise. I was going to stay in the house and do my house and do things in the house and do the things that I didn't have time to do. So it doesn't really bother me to go out. So I just looked at the closet one day and said, I'm not going to wear these suits anymore. I don't need these dresses. And I just gave them all, I gave them to the church. And when the minister at that particular time said, well, what are you going to wear? I said, oh, I got clothes in here and stuff like that. I bought a few new things and stuff like that, but I really did completely just shut
Knock it
down,
out.
and
Yeah.
start all over again. And I'm really liking it because, like I said, I don't go out that much. And if I do go out, it's in the back to garden. So I need old clothes. You know what I mean? If I do go somewhere, it's to like, the paint store, something to get some paint or get something, for my arts and crafts and things like that. I am enjoying this house.
I believe you.
Oh, you give it, you
Look,
give
I
that one.
believe you because I'm in my mind, I am planning the journey. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, I have X amount of years left. We're going to get this done. Yeah. So I may not look it, but I've been teaching for a minute. I've been nursing for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like you really don't look it.
So, I look, I have a few stripes under my belt, and like I said earlier, I'm at that time where I would call it. I'm ready for a place of rest and peace, where I can enjoy, like you said, my home, my family, and minimalize some things.
Hmm. And enjoy yourself too.
Yes,
Because we women, all women, not just black women, not just Spanish women, not just Italian women, all women, okay, seem to take care of everybody first except themselves.
that is true. That is true.
And we have to, if we don't feel well about ourselves, if we don't do good to ourselves, okay, nobody's gonna, I'm not saying that they don't care and stuff like that, they just don't notice because we don't tell them what we want. We just completely do. And I mean, I saw my grandmother do it. I saw my mother do it. And like I said, my mother, okay, because of us, she had to stay well because my father died. He did leave us pretty good and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
that was fine. But still, she worked really hard. Not only was she a nurse, she was a good baker. So she would bake wedding cakes for people, things like that. But I did not see my mother take a vacation unless somebody was dying. I did not see her do anything or take a vacation until she was well retired.
I
Should not have
I
been.
can relate. I can honestly relate to that because that's pretty much what I grew up seeing. It was more like you said, the women did everything, took care of everything, and it was like a non-stop ongoing thing because if it wasn't the work, it was the children. If it wasn't the work and the children, it was something else. Um, and it's almost as if it's ingrained in us to not care for ourselves and just keep pushing. So even at a minimum, I still take at least one day out of the week where it's my what I call my day, my self-care day.
Mm-hmm.
And I focus on nothing. I don't focus on work. It's like a decompression time.
Yeah.
And that's what I do.
I had to learn that. I do that every Monday. I do nothing. I don't I don't even get out of my pajamas before fear that, well, now I won't, but before, when I started doing it, I was still working. And for fear that I would actually get dressed and then go out or go shopping or something, you know what I mean? So I don't I get out of my pajamas and take a shower and change into clean pajamas. I do not get dressed on Mondays. Not at
Well,
all.
that's pretty much how my day goes. I may go get a facial. I may, of course, I get my hair washed or whatnot every now and then.
I do
Um,
all of that
yeah, I
myself.
do all of so. And I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just, even though I can do it, it's something about having that pampered feeling where you don't have to physically do it yourself. And now, don't get me wrong, there are times where I do it myself, but when I feel like I need that little extra, that's when I would go out and have it done. And it's like, okay, I don't have to worry about cooking, don't have to worry about this, don't have to worry about that. And I am so thankful now that even the youngest is of age where he can literally cook, and he asks me what I want.
Eh?
So it's like, hey, look, you're old enough now, you're self efficient. So I should be asking you, what are we having for dinner, not you
Mhm.
asking me.
Exactly.
And we have a nice balance like that. So he does do it. He does things and help around the house and whatnot. So I'm blessed in that sense. I
That's good.
truly am, because the tables have kind of turned, and it can be stressful when you have one of your children tell you, "Mom, it's time for you to go to bed. You look tired."
Yeah.
So now I'm learning to listen to not only my body but also the people, my loved ones around me.
Right.
So that's where my days came from, because I was literally, the switch was on all the time.
Mhm. I mean, my mother used to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, do what she had, wash a load of clothes, and I'm talking about when we had the little washing machine, with the wringer and stuff like that,
Oh yeah, my
and
grandmother had one of those.
hang the clothes out, fix the breakfast. And I would be like, you don't have to fix breakfast. I mean, especially like after my father died, she's kind of sat down and said to me, okay, look, it's just you and I. Your brothers are gone and stuff like that, and whatnot. My brothers were really grown, when I was
Mhm.
born. And so she said, and so it's you and I, and we have to keep the stores open, and we have to do whatever we have to do, and I have to go to work. So you have to stack the stores and stuff like that. So she would make breakfast. I said, you don't always have to do that. I can do that. You know what I mean? So we became a team. But, so when I would come home from school, I would bring the clothes in. Of course, we're in Boston. So when the weather was like cold, we would just have the racks and hang them downstairs in the basement. But she was always working, always moving, always, I mean, she just, whatever. If somebody died, she was there fixing the food and helping them, always working. I never really saw her sit down. I mean, seriously, unless she was either just tired. I saw her go to bed, but even in the bed, she was knitting, she was reading, she was writing a recipe, she was always doing something. And I just had to just say to myself, there are just some days that I don't need to do a doggone thing.
It took me a minute, but
Yeah.
I finally got there. And like I said, it took the kids, my husband, just different people telling me and analyzing what I was had going on. And one thing, I told you about my son, but one thing my husband did was he reiterated the fact that I should never feel guilty about taking time off to just rest. And that was a concept that was completely unreal to me, because I'm like, I need to, Like you said, I need to wash clothes. I need
Mhm.
to put up the clothes. I need to do this. I need to do that. It's always something that needs to be done. And he pointed out, and it's still going to be there tomorrow. If you don't do it, or I can do it. You don't have to be the one to do it. So, like I said, it took a minute, but it's sinking in, and I am enjoying the relaxation and peace of mind that it's bringing about.
I'm happy for you because I didn't learn that until I went in the hospital when I had the stroke.
Oh, a wake up call was when
Hmm.
I went for, honestly, between him telling me that and the last physical I had, I never had any blood pressure problems before.
Yeah.
And I actually I went because I had a concern, like I was having vertigo and I
Mhm.
couldn't tell, I didn't know what was causing it. And I, like I said before, I really have chronic allergies and sinus problems. So I was thinking that it was something related to my allergies, sinuses and my inner ear. Like I had maybe an ear infection or
Yeah.
fluid that was causing my balance in this vertigo type sensation. However, when they do the pre-screen and the triage, she took my blood pressure and you know, it was high for me. It was like 148 over 84, which is nope, that is not what my body does. My body does like, 110 over
Yeah.
70, or something like that. And then I had another appointment, just when they do the bio labs for the nurses or whatnot, the biometrics. And that one was also elevated. So I started tracking them over the next, because I'm like, it's probably just a fluke. Because, I was driving here, I was running from this place to that place or whatnot. So it was probably up because of that. But when I started tracking it, that's when I noticed that things really have to change because this is a problem that I was not aware I even had.
Mhm.
But individuals in my house, evidently it was manifesting in some other way because they knew I was tired. They knew I needed to take a break. They knew I needed to do certain things for myself. But me, I was just saying I'm fine, not realizing that I was stressing myself out and causing my blood pressure to go up by having all of these tasks and different things I had to do. But since I have taken some off of my plate, it has gone down considerably.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you do have to take that time to just relax and take care of yourself, breathe, and take a break.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get ready to get off now. Remember tomorrow night, everybody, we have our grief session. And nobody wanted to ask you any questions. So I'm going to thank you for coming on. I'll have you on again in about maybe a month or two because I want to know, what's happening and what's new and all that other kind of stuff, if that's okay with you.
I thank you so much for having me, and hopefully, next time the weather is better where my connection doesn't drop my camera services.
I warned you before we
In
came
my
on
face.
what was already happening. So I kind of know. I mean, this since I've been here for 35 years, and since I've moved here, Boston weather is different. We get it mostly in the wintertime. But this kind of weather here, I had to get used to it. You know what I mean? But I'm fine now. Hey lady, how you doing, Annie? What's up? You know,
Hello.
but I'm just saying Boston weather is different. This weather I had to get used to. And like I said, I'm at the tip of the South. I'm at the Mason Dixon line. And I'm
Okay.
like, so our weather is so much better. But when it rains and it thunders and lightning, and then we have these little things of wind and wind tunnels and things like that. And I'm like, okay, but I'm used to it now. But I mean, when I first came here, I'm like, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I should have gone to Maine and taught there instead of coming down here. But I'm good now. All right, so I'm gonna get off and everything like that. I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you, and you have a good night.
Yes, you
And
have.
all of your listeners and followers, I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, who's on the panel? I'm Hannah. Hannah's botanical garden. And they wanted to know who was on the panel. So I'm
Oh,
gonna. All right. So thank you again, and I will have you on again in about a month or so we can keep up with what's going on. I love everybody. I love you all. Take care. God bless. Stay safe and hold your families close. And I will talk to you again tomorrow night at 7. Love you all. Thank you, Hannah, so much. Well, thank you, Danielle.
no problem. Look, either one I will go by because my family members do call me that.
All right. I
Okay.
love you all. Take care. Peace, everybody.
Good night and bye
Good
bye.
night.